In this video, we will be completing Lesson 3 in Booklet 9, that is multiplying fractions, where one fraction is a mixed fraction. Right, we can see that here in the first example when we have a fraction, 1 over 4, multiplied by a mixed fraction, which is 2, and 2 over 5. Now, if you remember from a few lessons ago, we learned, number 1, that mixed fractions are not very convenient to use for mathematics. And number 2, we learned how to turn a mixed fraction into an improper fraction. And that's exactly what we're going to do here. Right? Your life is going to be a lot more difficult if your fraction stays as mixed. So I'm just going to do a little bit of work on the side here, where we are going to take 2 and 2 over 5, and we're going to turn that to an improper fraction. Quick refresher of how to do so. The first thing that you do is you multiply the denominator by the whole number. So that's 5 times 2. Let's do this in red. So that's 5 times 2. Then you're going to add the numerator. So all in all, this would be 5 times 2 plus 2. Now, always do the multiplication first. 5 times 2 is 10. So this is kind of like 10 plus 2. And 10 plus 2 is 12. Now, what does that mean? Right? What that gives us is our new numerator. So 2 and 2 over 5 is equal to, our new numerator is 12, and the denominator stays the same. The denominator is 5. So the denominator times the whole number plus the numerator gives you your new numerator over the same denominator. So that means that we can rewrite our original problem as 1 over 4 times 12 over 5. And we can handle this multiplication just like we have every other one in the past. We're going to multiply the two numerators together, 1 and 12. And 1 times 12 is 12. Then we're going to multiply the two denominators together, 4 and 5. And 4 times 5 is 20. Now remember, whenever you get to the final answer, you need to check if you can simplify. So, give me a second to pull up the fraction chart. Wrong one. So here's our factor chart. Our two numbers are 12 and 20. Here is 12. Here is 20. What do they share in common? Well, they both have a 1. They both have a 2. They both have a 4. And that's about all they share in common. Remember, we want the greatest, the largest common factor. So we're just going to take the 4. The GCF is equal to 4. So what does that mean? That means that we can divide both the numerator and the denominator by 4. Remember that you can use either your calculator or the factor chart to help you out here. 12 divided by 4 is going to give us 3, and 20 divided by 4 is going to give us 5. So the answer here is 3 over 5, fully simplified. It does take a fair bit of work, but after you get used to the steps, it gets a little bit faster. Let's try this second problem. 2 and 1/4 times 1 over 3. First thing that we're going to do is we are going to work on the side in an effort to turn 2 and 1 over 4 into an improper fraction. Remember, multiply the denominator by the whole number, and then add the numerator. So that is 4 times 2 plus 1. Start with the multiplication. 4 times 2 is 8. And next comes the addition. 8 plus 1 is 9. Remember, that math gives us our new numerator. So this becomes 9 over 4. The denominator stays the same. So now that we know that we can rewrite 2 and a quarter as 9 over 4, we can rewrite this problem without the mixed fraction, and we can multiply the two numerators, 9 and 1 make 9, as well as the two denominators, 4 and 3 make 12. Final step, we visit our factor chart, erase our previous work, and look for the greatest common factor between 9 and 12. So here is 9, here is 12. They both share a 1, and they both share a 3, and that's about it. So their greatest common factor is 3. Let's go back to our first page. Greatest common factor of 3 means that I divide the numerator and I divide the denominator by 3, giving me a final answer of 9 divided by 3 is 3, and 12 divided by 3 is 4. Take some time, solve these last two examples, and then make sure that your answers match mine. The first example is 1 over 5 times 3 and 2/3. So on the side, we are going to turn 3 and 2 over 3 into an improper fraction. As usual, multiply the denominator by the whole number and then add the numerator. So that is going to look like 3 times 3 plus 2. 3 times 3 is 9, and 9 plus 2 is 11. So 3 and 2/3 can be rewritten as 11 over 3. The denominator stays the same. All right, let's use that, right? So 1 over 5 can stay the same. There's nothing wrong with that, but we don't want to work with a mixed fraction. So 3 and 2/3 is rewritten as 11 over 3. 1 times 11 is equal to 11. 5 times 3 is equal to 15. We're almost done. Let's take a trip over to our factor chart. Our two numbers were 11 and 15. Here is 11, here is 15, and it looks like the only number they share in common is 1. Please remember that when your GCF is equal to 1, you don't, or you can't reduce. It's already simplified. Right? You don't need to write what's in green here. I'm just leaving that as a note. Right? You can just stop right here at this step. There's nothing left to do. Final problem of the lesson. 4 and 2 over 5 times 1 over 2. So on the side, we're going to take 4 and 2 over 5, and we're going to turn that into an improper fraction. We multiply the denominator by the whole number, and we add the numerator. So that's going to be 5 times 4 plus 2. Now 5 times 4, use a calculator or your head, but that is going to equal to 20. And then 20 plus 2 is equal to 22. Meaning we can rewrite this improper fraction as 22 over 5. So this is good, right? We can use this to rewrite our original problem to be 22 over 5 times 1 over 2. Multiply the numerators. 22 times 1 is easy. That's just 22. 5 times 2 is going to give us 10. Let's take a trip to our factor chart. Our two numbers are 22 and 10. Here's 22. Here's 10. They both have a 1 as usual, but they also both have a 2. That is the greatest common factor, the largest number that they have in common. So 2 being the GCF, we're going to divide both the numerator and the denominator by 2. 22 divided by 2 is equal to 11, and 10 divided by 2 is equal to 5, giving us our final answer, 11 over 5. Okay, that's about it for this lesson. Make sure that you're practicing with it using the Lesson 3 worksheet that follows this. Thank you.